Hey, I'm Dr. Johan Mostert. I teach in the doctoral program here at Trinity. Allow me to share a verse which I think is going to be very relevant for us in the time in which we are living right now, because the time that I'm referring to here in John 18, we had a lot of socio-political turmoil, just like we have today. And in that turmoil, while Jesus is being arrested and taken to Pilate, Jesus makes this fascinating statement. He says, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would take it all out and make me their king. But my kingdom is not of this world." And this is a time of huge political turmoil. I mean, the Roman Empire was guilty of gross human violations. They were the global dominator. They were oppressive. Their abortion. They had the gladiator fights, human rights abuses. Certainly, they were not what God had in mind when He thought of a good government. Even in the Jewish community, there were some that wanted to overthrow the government. The zealots. I think Peter had a zealot streak in him. He took out his AK-47 sword and wanted to chop his way through and say, we're going to take over this place with violence. You had the Sanhedrin and the Sadducees and the Pharisees and collaborators like the tax collectors. I mean, there was so much political turmoil. And in this context, Jesus says, you people don't understand. This temple, the whole Jewish system, in a couple of years' time, I warned you, in a couple of years' time, all of this is going to be gone. In 70 AD, it was gone. And you, Rome, with all your pomp and ceremony and global conquests and all the emperors, in about 500 years later, my goodness, you're going to be gone. The barbarians are going to invade Rome, and it's all going to be. My kingdom is not part of the current socio-political system here. And we can learn a lot from that statement. Today, we're getting pulled in all kinds of directions. Who do we side with? There are Christians in Palestine. There are Christians. I've got wonderful friends that are Christians, both in Russia and in the Russian states and the various Ukraine and other nations. In fact, I understand that there's a fantastic revival taking place in Iran and on the West Bank. Okay, all of that to say, while the political turmoil is taking place, the biggest danger for us is to get sucked into party political debates. Because Jesus said, my kingdom is above all of these kingdoms, all these political fights that you're talking about are not going to exist in time. My kingdom, this is what you got to be searching for. Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. Let me give you 4 quick thoughts on how do we respond to the political turmoil that we have today. It may be difficult for you to understand that there are Christians here in our nation that are on different political platforms that call themselves Christians. Some of them, over time, I've found that they found it easier to be praying for President Obama than for President Trump. And both sides would be calling on Romans 13 and Paul's admonition to Timothy. We must pray for the authorities. Yep. Both sides. We need to be praying. It's difficult for you sometimes to be praying for the enemy side. Here's the idea. The kingdom of God is above party political issues. Our kingdom will last forever. Parties are not going to last forever. Nations are not going to last forever. Our task, seek the kingdom of God. And our weapons in this task are different than anybody else's weapons. We use weapons like love and joy and peace and gentleness. Those are the qualities that will survive. Praying for those in authority is appropriate. Why? Well, Paul says to Timothy, well, you need to pray for them, not because they hold the secret to the success of the kingdom of God. No. Pray for them so that we can live peaceful lives, so that we can have our families, so that we can pursue righteousness and holiness. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray that God would grant us in our nation peace and prosperity so that the gospel can proliferate. Resist the political pressures to go one side or the other. We have friends and brothers and sisters on all sides. We need to commit ourselves not to a party political side, though there are wonderful people that are serving in political parties. There are wonderful people that are supposed to be our enemies in other nations. Our first loyalty is our loyalty to the kingdom of God. May God help us to understand that when Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world, because these kingdoms will pass away, but my kingdom will never pass away. May God give you wisdom in dealing with political turmoil that we're living in today, so that you may be wise and seek first the kingdom of our God.